What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rest Stop. My name is Resty, and today we've got some real shit that we need to talk about. I say this with a heavy heart that I've both quit and uninstalled Honkai Star Rail, and I will not be playing the game for the foreseeable future. This wasn't exactly something that I did lightly. I've been playing the game since launch. I've invested 2 years of my life into the game, and I've busted my ass into making the account as great as it is now. Granted, I've made a lot more mistakes in the first few months of playing than I would have cared to admit. But I was still relatively new to playing gacha games at the time, so it took some time for me doing things wrong for me to turn around and start doing things right. Luck certainly played a huge factor as well. I think it was harder for me in particular because I was able to get my account to what I felt was a really good spot. I had saved over 100 banner pulls in my account as of the end of March, and I formatted a really solid relic set for Casterus once she comes out for launch. And I even had a Goliath's light cone to act as a substitute in case I failed to get Casterus' signature. But that was just the surface level shit. As far as the endgame content, I've still been able to get full marks on it all, and I've been smoking that endgame pack since Imbibing Lunae back in 1.3. Safe to say that as far as my account goes, it's a rock solid account. Easily an A or S tier account, depending on how picky the fucker is who's grading it. If you guys want to spec out my best and brightest, you just need to pop my IUD, which you can get in the upper left hand corner of the video in any relic grader to check them out. Fribbles, relic score, take your pick. Trust me, you'll like what you see. Anyways, enough of me swinging my dick around. The reason that I'm dropping the game is because Hoyoverse has taken it into a direction that I philosophically cannot respect. It has become astronomically greedy and very scummy in its practices in trying to gain profit at the expense of its players, with a complete lack of regard or consideration for them. I understand that as a corporal rat myself in real life, I understand that they're running a business and they need to make money. But even I have my limits, and the 3.2 livestream of Honkai Star Rail certainly showed me those. I actually sat down for the livestream and I made a nice little highlight list of all the shit that they discussed. Let me make some adjustments here and we can check things out. Alright, we're going to get the biggest hunk of shit out of the way, and basically the straw that broke the camel's back. The Casterus kit. When it was leaked, I was pretty stoked about it, especially since my account actually needed a new quantum DPS character to keep up with the times. But what got my goat was the implementation of the global passive perk that they're trying to push, the character revive. The basic principle is, once per battle, if one of your characters dies in battle, it gets automatically revived. Now, this isn't unfamiliar territory for Honkai Star Rail, as Bailu from the standard banner could do the same thing for a character as long as she's in the same party as that fallen character. Unlike Bailu, however, she just needs to exist on your account and doesn't have to be in your party at all. What makes this shit is that it creates a precedent that if you don't have the specific character, it will forever put your account at a disadvantage, and it opens the door for them to do it with a lot more other characters. What's to stop them from putting a character that globally buffs speed, or damage, or a crit stat? This puts the FOMO that comes with it and all the marketing that does. I think it's incredibly predatory. If I was Hoyoverse, I would have solved this issue in one of two ways. I'd either adjust it to where it would require casters to actually be in the same party, just the same as Bailu in order to even things out. Or to make the global passive behind, simulated universe or the storyline, so that way the average player has a shot at getting it. But yeah, no, fuck us, right? Hoyer's gotta make them shekels, right? Now, with Fugyu, Jiao Chao, and Akron running alongside Casterus. Look, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the character reline selection, as I feel it's kind of a mid-roster. But I've seen shittier options, and this is not one of them. So if you're doing well with the characters and you're in the market for the Eidolons, I'd say go for it. Now, as far as the Naxx is concerned, I'm kind of on the fence. Since I have Fei Zhao, I wasn't exactly keen on acquiring another wind DPS. But I found Naxx's kit to be particularly weird. He's got a passive to where he uses his base attack or his skill, he implements a random elemental weakness on the enemy. And when he uses his ultimate, he implements all 7 of the weaknesses. Personally, I don't think it's entirely wise, because it makes Naxx feel less like an erudition character and more like a nihility character. Sorry, Black Swan, but you've been replaced. Maybe he can work as like a sub DPS to fight alongside Akron to rack up, her debuff counters. Or replace Lula Herda on the Herda team. If I was still in the game, he wouldn't exactly be a must-pull, but, it could be a different story for you. Now, As far as Dr. Ratio running alongside Naxa, you remember what I said earlier about shitty options being chosen to be rerun? Yeah, this douche canoe is one of them. When he first came out for free back in 1.6, it was when Honkai Star Rail won Game of the Year back in 2024. And he was pretty damn good. But alas, he got power crept by better imaginary DPS options such as Rappa, March 7th's Hunt Path, and the recently released My Day. Easy fucking skip. Now, if I was Hoyoverse, I would have instead run Rappa alongside Naxa, and it would have been a good fit for two reasons. First is that Rappa is an erudition character, same as Anaxa, and the second would be that she would flavor well with Foog back in the previous banner. But hey, what do I know, right? Now, as far as the Seal Slammers, the Morning Starlight, and the Star Rail World minigames, I actually have nothing bad to say about these. I think these are nice little minigame events to help bolster Jades and give in-between content for players when they need to take a break from the story, or if they get done with the story entirely. They're definitely distractions, but they're nice little distractions. As far as the 30 free limited pulls, I think this is one of the more positive bonuses that's part of the update, and I definitely approve. Nice work, Hoyoverse. Now, with the max 5-star dupe. I've been bitching since day one of this game that they need to allow players to buy eidolons of 5-star characters from the shop. Tower of Fantasy did it, Wuthering Waves did it, Honkai Star Rail is now doing it, but the amount of chicanery surrounding it is retarded as fuck. Basically, if you already E6'd a 5-star character, and if you get it again, you get a silver token. Get it 2 of them, and you can trade them for a gold token, which you can then use to get a 5-star character from the shop. And if you already got dupes of these 5-star characters that you've E6'd, you'll be compensated with silver tokens equal to the amount of times it already happened. But you know what this benefits? The whales. The motherfuckers that spend thousands of dollars on this game and practically drop their whole paychecks on it. Look, even I don't have an E6 character. The highest I got is E4 Brilliant, and I've been playing this game since launch. I think it's a huge crock of shit. Now, with the free gold character token and the free Locha and Ruan Mei, I'm of two minds here. On one hand, being able to get one of these two characters for free is quite refreshing. And being able to keep the gold token for later use down the line, I think is a nice touch. And I confess, I'm biased towards both characters because they both carried my account to this day, since I've got them. Especially my Locha, who is still a key sustain on my teams to this day, ever since I got him back in 1.2. I mean, hell, I can hear the responses now. Ugh, fuck Locha. Locha sucks. No, sir. Fuck your Locha. Your Locha sucks. However, even I know that Locha is the worst of the two options here. Sure, he'll certainly pair well with Caster Reese when she comes out, but with Hyacine on the horizon, he'll get phased out with a quickness. I mean, if I were to pick between the two, I'd certainly pick Ruan Mei in a heartbeat. Her E1 is just too damn good on her. On the other hand, I feel limiting the gold tokens to just characters that you can get in the shop is real scummy, and I feel they deserve to have a much more broader use. If I was Hoyoverse, I'd make the gold tokens to where you could use them to get any 5-star character's Eidolon, and make them the same cost as a 5-star Lycone now. I mean, can you imagine Hoyoverse being player-friendly like that? I certainly couldn't. Now, with Sela, Blade, and Fujuan being added to the standard banner, kind of troubles me a bit. Now, being able to exchange out characters you don't want on the standard banner, like, say, Yang King or Bailu, certainly seems like a good idea on the surface. And Fujuan is still capable of sustain to this day. But you know what? A gold-plated turd is still a turd. They're still randomized, so you can't just guarantee what you get if you fail on the limited banner. And not only that, Seal and Blade have essentially been phased out for well over a year now, and they're not even part of the meta anymore. But I don't think that's the worst of it. Now, I hope I'm wrong about this, and judging by the wording, if you already have 5 stars on the standard banner that already have Eidolons, you can't put them in the shop or banner, so they're essentially gatekeeping you from characters that have long since dropped off. If this is true, then this is a big pile of shit. Hell, it ain't even gold-plated anymore. Now, with adding Ruan Mei, Locha, Fujuan, Blade, and Seal's light cones to the shop. On the surface, these light cones being in the exchange isn't a bad thing, and slum light cones such as Blade or Seala still see some use to this day. But getting to them is now going to be predatory as fuck. Basically, same as the character tokens, You get your hands on these light cone tokens, and you cash in 4 of them to get a 5-star light cone from the shop. Here's where it gets predatory. The most common way to get them is through special events and through Nameless Glory. Horrorverse put this shit behind yet another fucking paywall. Yet another layer of scum to this live stream. I swear, we gotta be up to our knees in this shit by now. But hey, much like when the 2.1 update came out, Hoyoverse is resetting the top up bonus in the Oneric Shard shop. I think they caught on early that people that spend money on the game will pay big if they feel like they're gonna get a better deal. But this is another bid to cater to the whales, and let me tell you why. Hoyoverse created a shitty event called Cherish Recollection, where if you spend your money on Oneric Shards, you can get items such as light cone tokens, golden character tokens, and some shitty ass display case for your cell phone. And let me tell you, it's not cheap either. These rewards go as high as 25,000 shards. Literally hundreds of dollars. Definitely a major cash grab on Hoyoverse's part, and the whales have such little respect for their money that they'll actually bite into this shit. Now, with buffing Silverwolf, Blade, Kafka, and Jingliu in 3.4, to me this is a day late and a dollar short. Hoyoverse should have been buffing the older units a long time ago in order to keep up with the new ones coming out, and to help keep up with the power creep that's been plaguing the game to this day. The only problem is, they did not say at all about how they'll be buffing these units. Sure, the rumors feel enticing, but those are just rumors. I have absolutely no confidence in these buffs. Now, I know when someone's trying to wave a carrot in front of my face, and the announcement of a free limited 5-star is just that. Do I think it's real? Yeah, of course. They did it with Dr. Ratio last year. But they said nothing about who it is or when it's happening. This seems like a way to try and instill some sort of hope, or cope, in the players to try to keep them around. No thanks, Hoyoverse. Not interested. Check this out. Adding in more cutscenes for people to have a better story experience. Holy Appuccino, Batman! Ever since Pentaconian 2.0, people have been completely bogged down by the long and overly drawn-out story that Honkai Star Rail has been using. Even for avid story readers like myself, this has gotten way out of hand, and I doubt people could care less if it's planned a year in advance. Knowing Hoyoverse, they'll sooner make things worse rather than better. Hard pass. Now, with adding more story to Pentaconian to fill in the blanks, I think it's the same as the buffs to Jingliu and the Stellar Hunters. This is just another case of being a day late and a dollar short. Most of the player base these days have already went through this part of the storyline months ago, so I doubt they'd really give much of a fuck about this now. Look, the bottom line is, when you look at all this, it's at least clear to me that the game has gone into a direction that I can no longer stand behind. And with that, I'll no longer be playing Honkai Star Rail nor producing any further content on this game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around. Peace.